Hi there, I'm Steph Cuthbert. I am trying out something new on my blog today, which is a chat video called Monday Morning Chat. I sort of envisaged this becoming me talking about books, talking about things that I'm doing that are reading and writing related, maybe talk about a bit about my process and show you around where I work. So, but for today, to ease me out of my comfort zone and into vlogging, I thought that I would start with just talking about some books. I brought along two books that I would sort of encourage people to read right now. So let's get started. So the first book that I want to talk about is Spark by Rachael Craw. Spark is a great example of the kind of calibre of spec fic that is coming out of the region. Rachael Craw is a New Zealand writer and all-round good person. Look, Spark is about genetics and DNA, superhuman strength in teens. There's conflict, there's a sort of, I guess, a mystery to unravel as to, who the bad guy is. There's a lot of sexual tension, so all good things. I got a copy of Spark in my swag bag at TeenCon 2015 at Sydney Writers Festival, which was in May. So as you can see, I have a lot of books. I have a lot of books on Kindle and iBooks. At last count, I had 106 books I own that are on my TBR. So how then did Spark, a book that I had never heard of by an author I had never heard of, just jump all of that to the top of the list, and I started reading it the following day after I got it? Well, the answer is simple. The answer is Rachael Craw. I posted a photo of the spine of Spark in a stack of books that I got during Sydney Writers Festival, and Rachael Craw saw it and started chatting to me. She started following me on Twitter, and it just made me want to read her book because she was so genuinely nice and really, really friendly. Since I read her book, she has become sort of this beacon in my Twitter feed, who I'm constantly drawn to. She is genuinely, after connecting with other writers and readers, her following, the Spark Army, is really, really loyal. And I think that it has, of course it has to do with the books, but I think that it also comes down to Rachael as a person. She is just amazing. So if you don't follow her on Twitter, and if you haven't read her book, then you should. The next book in this series is called Stray, and it comes out on, I believe, the 1st of September. So read Spark now. Here it is again. Read it now. And follow Rachael on Twitter, my soul sister, my cave sister. The next book that I want to talk about, I haven't even finished yet, actually. I've still got that much to go, is One True Thing by Nicole Hayes. Really, the majority of what I read, probably about 80%, is spec fic. So for me, contemporary fiction has to work really hard to grab my attention. One True Thing does that. Nicole is really great at sort of reflecting the world in which this story is written, our own society. Yes, it deals with politics and stuff, but that's not really the story for me. There's a really good heart at the start of, at the center of this story. There's a really good heart. Frankie is so incredibly flawed, and Nicole does a wonderful job of walking that fine line between having a very flawed character and an unlikable character. And sometimes when Frankie was kind of obnoxious, I still liked her. I still empathized with her, and a lot of that comes down to Nicole's skill, I think. I think maybe a lesser writer wouldn't have been able to walk that line. The thing about Frankie, I kind of read her and I go, I was a Frankie, when I was 16, 17, and so I think this is a great book for girls who maybe are a bit angry. They should read this book. The huge thing that I love about this book is Kessie. Part of that is the way that Nicole deals with diversity in this book, in that she just kind of goes, I think it's like a couple of pages in, lesbian best friend, right, let's move on. She doesn't dramatize it. She doesn't make it stand out. It's just like, this is what it is, much like in life, I guess. So I really, really love that about this. The other thing about Kessie for me is just, she is just lovable. I really adore her. And she's so strong in her convictions and her activism. But then towards the end, you see this vulnerability in her that is just beautiful. Nicole's writing is rich. She has really strong imagery. It feels really rooted in reality and the world. I don't feel like her characters are floating around in this bubble. She describes everything really, really well. And just all around, like, she is a really, really strong writer. And this is a really, really strong book. And I love that it's from an Australian writer, Nicole Hayes, from Melbourne. So the next book on my TBR is The Flywheel by Erin Goff. It's part of my hashtag LoveAusYA TBR, which is on the blog, which Nicole Hayes 1-2 thing was part of. So pop on over there and have a look at the rest of the books that I'll be reading lately. That's all from me, and thank you for joining me for Monday Morning Chat, and I will see you next time. Thanks.